the truth is there's diminishing returns after a while with our mental clarity, with our brain power, with our energy, with our focus. And so what I like to do is build my capacity for deep work by starting small, by starting on the focus thing. Even if I don't know what my perfect high leverage task is, by honing in my focus and putting a time restraint on it, and by doing it consistently every single day, I will start to hone in and figure out, okay, what is the highest impact thing so that these 10 minutes are going to bring me the best result possible.
Welcome to Gap to Gig, the show for dads reimagining how work fits into life, not the other way around. It's where we talk about what comes next, how to make sense of the in-between, and who we become in the process. I'm your host, Michael Jacobs, and today I'm joined by Jesse Holmes, a performance coach who helps people hit their goals in just 10 minutes a day without the procrastination or overwhelm that usually gets in the way. He's built, scaled, and rebuilt businesses over the last 19 years, and now he's helping others do it with a lot less stress. For any dad trying to balance life with personal growth, Jesse's approach makes success feel simple and doable. Jesse, welcome to the show. Glad to have you here.
Thanks so much for having me.
You've built and rebuilt businesses for nearly 2 decades now. What led you to the work you're doing now?
Yeah, so it's a great question. Been an entrepreneur since I was 16 years old, so I got 19 years of entrepreneurial experience under my belt. Number of different built up businesses, 6-figure businesses, 7-figure business. And my last 8-figure business I built in the offline supplement business, and my own line of supplements. And I was able to build it and run it in less than 30 minutes a day, which gave me a perfect work-life balance, being able to manage business growth, personal growth, and raising a family.
Excellent. And you're a dad now of one with a second on the way, if I remember correctly. How has becoming a dad reshaped your approach to work, your goals, your success?
Absolutely. It's completely changed the way I look at how I grow. So before, I had so much more time and energy on my plate. And so I could, with that extra time and energy, came maybe a little bit more lackadaisical on getting to work, getting into that flow state, focusing on the things that really make a difference. And now with having a kid, I had to really cut down and say, okay, if I want to grow as a person, if I want to grow my work, my life, and have a good balance and maintain my energy and my focus, I need to really make sure I'm focusing on the things that really move the needle, things that really make a difference in both not only my business, but in my relationships with my wife, with my kids, and with myself, as far as my own personal growth, my spiritual growth, my health and fitness. And so realizing that I had way less time on my hands, it really had me focus in on what really things were important to work on.
Absolutely. Yeah. I appreciate that you mentioned relationships, because balancing work and fatherhood it's not a one person job. Even as a single dad, it's not always just you. You have the relationship with your child. You have to take care of yourself as well. And you have people on the outside that are part of your life, whether that is a significant other, family members, friends, coworkers, et cetera. So that is really important to maintain these relationships. But you also mentioned that you have to focus your time. Where do most people waste time when trying to make progress on their goals? You've built businesses, so you know what's important and what's to be successful in those businesses, but also now with a child, you're recognizing just, how important your time is. So where do people go about wasting their time most?
Yeah, I think a lot of people waste their time in clarity and not knowing what to do, not knowing where to get started, even with a lot of their projects or things. They get lost in analysis paralysis, overwhelm, even lack of confidence and self-doubt. And so that keeps them stagnant, it keeps them frozen up from taking those regular, consistent steps. And I personally believe that clarity doesn't come from knowing exactly what to do. It comes from doing what you already know. So if there's someone listening here and saying, I don't know what to do, I don't know where to get started, I don't know what the next step is, we don't need to know the whole staircase in order to make progress. We need just to put one foot in front of the other day in and day out and stay consistent. And clarity will come through movement, not through just sitting around thinking and wondering what I'm supposed to be doing next.
Absolutely. So what you focus on now is effortless growth. And maybe you can describe this for the audience here, of 10 minutes a day, putting your best foot forward. Can you go into what led you to effortless growth and what it's all about?
Yeah, absolutely. So it's been a combination of my entrepreneurial journey, and two, wanting to develop my own personal brand with my own authority and my own clarity of how I want to be able to help other high performers in their own life and business. So the three things I really like to focus on are: one, clarity, enough clarity to shift you from making your life feel like you're pushing up a mountain to instead having your work-life balance actually pulling you towards your goals. So that's the first thing, is clarity, making that shift. The second thing I like to focus on is tapping into flow states or deep work. So this is about getting twice the amount of work done in half the amount of time in both your business and in personal life. And that comes where, that's why I talk about the 10 minutes a day, about being able to hone in that focus, because I believe that getting into flow and deep work isn't about force. It's really about narrowing your focus on what's really matter. And then the third thing I like to work on is embracing high leverage habits. So the things that are going to take you to that next level without trying to focus on working harder, because I personally believe that leverage isn't just about grinding and working harder. It's about working higher, working on those higher tasks that are going to get you either more reward, either financially or in your relationships in life.
Excellent. So in 10 minutes, you want to focus on leveraging what is the most high leverage thing that you can do in that time so that you can work deeply on that. Can you take us through what working deeply really means? We hear a lot about deep work, solo focus right now, but what does it mean for you to, in order to achieve that clarity, to get that leverage, what does deep work actually involve?
For me, deep work, so a lot of people I see, oh, if I want to get into deep work, they start carving out like hours in a day. And they think that the more effort, the more time that I put to something, the deeper I'll be able to get into something. And the truth is, there's diminishing returns after a while with our mental clarity, with our brain power, with our energy, with our focus. And so what I like to do is build my capacity for deep work by starting small, by starting on the focus thing. Even if I don't know what my perfect high leverage task is, by honing in my focus and putting a time restraint on it, and by doing it consistently every single day, I will start to hone in and figure out, okay, what is the highest impact thing so that these 10 minutes are going to bring me the best result possible.
Got it. So it's not about necessarily the amount of time you put into it, but it's on the what you focus on in that time.
That's right.
Okay. Got it. So let's take a step back here and let's look at, how do you apply that to being a father? Like, how does someone who's been taking care of their child, whether it's they're a stay-at-home dad or maybe it's just somebody that has some childcare responsibilities, maybe on the weekends, maybe after work, whatever, how do they take that focus and apply it to allow themselves to achieve more purposeful work, more meaningful work, but also be there for their kids? And how do they do that in either a deep work state or just getting that clarity to figure out how to spend their time?
Yeah, that's a fantastic question. For myself, I have daily high leverage activities in both my life, personal life, business, and my relationship with my son. So one high leverage activity for myself is I will literally set a timer for 10 minutes and I will devote all 100% of my focus and resources and energy into anything that he wants to do. And there's no criticism, there's no interruption, there's no anything. I'm 100% focused on on giving him full attention and full autonomy. And by giving him that power in a small focused amount of time, the first day you do it, you might not notice some real difference. But if you do it consistently over time, you're building not only connection and relationship, but you're lowering his stress levels. I'm lowering my stress levels. And I'm also expanding my capacity to set healthy boundaries, because I know that I gave him that focused time of attention and autonomy. I can put my foot down a little bit stronger when it comes to other things, because I know I did my role as a loving father, which is to give unconditional to my love to my son on a daily basis. So for myself, that deep work and flow state is setting that timer early on in my interaction with my son to make sure I'm giving him that 100% focused attention every single day.
I love that. What's one of your favorite things to your son to do, or you to do with your son for that 10 minutes of focused time?
It's always evolving and changing, and that's what's so much fun. But there's sometimes I get caught up in the thing of, oh, I want to do the thing that comes easiest to me and something that I enjoy to try and bridge that gap easier. But it's really important that I dive into him and his focus. It's very easy for me to be like, hey, let's play my favorite video game together. That I get away with that,
Right.
but it's not as impactful and as powerful as, you know what, It's Daddy and Ethan time. I'm all yours. Whatever you want to do, whatever silliness, whatever thing, all that kind of stuff, and diving deep into where his level is at the moment is just so much deeper in connecting than just saying, hey, do what I want to do.
I love that. That's awesome. It's got to create such a deep bond too, to give him that, not just the attention, but the permission to seek out what is of interest to him, and knowing that like he can create his own path from that 10 minutes or longer, however long it takes. Do you find yourself in those 10-minute focus sessions, or the sessions that are focused on your son, do you find those that you lose track of time easily? Or is it still that you are so structured that 10 minutes, it's up, it's time to move on to the next?
It depends. It depends on how well I slept the night. Depends on what's on my plate. Depends what other stuff's going through my head. But it's just really important that I do it every single day, no matter what, and making sure that I do it on a level that he knows that I'll be there for him consistently. And it's really helped a lot with not only just the relationship but preventing a lot of behavioral issues.
Sure.
It's prevented a lot of insecurity in him and wondering, is he going to be able to get my attention, or am I just going to be sitting in the room next to him playing on my phone all day? Just being able to have that and bridge that, even just for people, because I had talked to other dads as well. So they're like, oh, what have you found that's worked well? I'm like, oh, 10 minutes a day focus. Doesn't 20 minutes a day work better? It's yes and no, because if I say 20 minutes, but then I don't do it, or I miss a day or miss a day or two here and there because I didn't carve enough time, so I say I'm not going to do it. That small frame of reference and small time frame really helps me dive deep in it. If I'm struggling and I don't hit 10 minutes a day a couple days in a row, maybe I just need to break it down to 5 minutes or 1 minute just to start getting back into that flow state, because it's so easy to say, I don't get enough time, I don't get enough energy, I'll just half-heart it kind of thing.
So consistency then is equally important to the focus itself, it sounds like. Because if you don't do it every day, then you start to lose confidence in yourself, but also when it comes to that focus time with each relationship, the person on the other side of that relationship, whether it's your son or your spouse or a work partner, becomes less confident in your ability to show up and be present.
That's right. That's right. The consistency is the most important part. The most important part is doing it every single day. And just that, the small time frame just makes sure that I get over that and get to it without excuses.
And you also mentioned something earlier that I want to just touch back on, because I think it's so important, is taking time for yourself, the relationship with yourself. How do you take 10 minutes to focus on yourself? What do you recommend, especially for dads that feel like they're short on time because they're working, they're taking their kids to activities, or they have a million different things to do on a regular basis? But you mentioned the importance of the relationship with yourself. So how do you use that time, that focus time for yourself?
Yeah, so there's a number of different things I do every single day to help in different areas of my life. But for someone just getting started to this concept or doesn't know where to start or begin, my suggestion is start where something that comes easiest and most enjoyable to you, something that you could do enjoyably every single day without burning out. A lot of guys think, I'm really passionate about this, and they dive deep into it, and then it's not sustainable. It's really important to build that self-confidence in something that already comes naturally to me, something that's already enjoyable, something that already is easy for me to get and dive into that flow state for myself in a focused way, and making sure that I can do it again consistently without burning out. For some, it might just be like going for a walk or doing a couple push-ups or whatever comes enjoyably to you that gives you that empowerment, something that if you did that day would have the highest impact on your own personal life. And so for everyone, it looks completely different, but it should just be something that's already drawn to you, something that's already easy and enjoyable for you to do every single day.
Absolutely. That sounds great. I've been walking recently. That's been my focus time for myself. And yes, I get that physical benefit from it, but also there's a clarity that comes with that, at least for me, where I'm able to clear my mind and come back to focus on what's next, whatever is next on my schedule, whether that is time with family, time for work. So it makes a lot of sense. That relationship with yourself is just as important as any other relationship that you're building for your focus time. So for a dad who's caring for kids, maybe working part-time, maybe working full-time, how can you protect those minutes that they do have with their family or for themselves? How do they protect that from all the chaos of the day?
Yeah, it's very important. And that's why I say 10 minutes. And even if you find yourself not able to set aside 10 minutes a day, like if you miss 2 days in a row, then chop that time down and maybe even start as simple as like 30 seconds or a minute. It's about expanding your ability to focus. It's like training a muscle. If you can't lift the 100-pound weight right now, start with the 50. If you can't lift the 50, start with the 20. If you can't do the 20, do the 10. Making it as easy as possible to at least get some momentum and get started. I know a lot of guys, myself included, thought I needed to chunk off hours of time
Right.
on whatever project it was, but that what would happen is life is so unpredictable, throws us curveballs every day, and then it just gives me an excuse to not get into it. And so it's so important to say no excuses, no matter what. Doesn't matter if it's Thanksgiving Day or whatever, I can still carve out a few minutes for myself to make sure I'm checking off these things that have a high impact in my life.
That's such great advice. Like it's easy to blow past that and just be like, I've got to do all these things and I've got to block out these huge chunks of time, but making it more manageable, more approachable. It's so important. It's such smart advice. All right. So what then, is there like a mindset shift for people that haven't done this before, particular dads that really have never figured out how to focus? Like, what is that shift in mindset that immediately makes or quickly makes progress feel approachable, feel lighter, feel easier?
It really is about empowering yourself to be able to be consistent, empowering yourself to be able to work on those habits. If I'm sitting around trying to change my mind or think appropriately and change my mindset, that shift won't come as consistently or as organically or as deeply as me actually experiencing it. And so I can say to someone, oh, that's a good idea, or have that thought and try to arrangement. But the problem is we just default back to our old habits.
Right.
If my old habit is I just live reactively, it's going to be completely different trying to shift into, oh, I need to live proactively now. You can't think your way into a new habit. It has to be experienced. And the best way for anyone to build a new habit is one, make sure it's something you can stick to every single day. So many people ask, how long does it take to build a habit? And they say, oh, 21 days or whatever. No, the habit's for as long as you do it. Because as soon as you don't do it anymore, it's no longer a habit. And so I need to look long-term. How can I do this every single day for the rest of my life? And so that's the real mindset shift change of perspective of the timeline, instead of being just today, but how can I make sure I'm doing this consistently day after day? And for myself, it's making it as easy as possible. It's making it as enjoyable as possible and making sure it's something I can do every day without burning out.
So being realistic in your expectations then becomes
That's so true.
pretty important here, because if you think you can do it all and accomplish it all, but in reality, you only have so much time, you're not really creating a habit because you're not going to be able to do it consistently. So
That's right.
being realistic, being consistent, like being honest about it, and then showing up and doing it, like together, that's how you accomplish a lot more on a daily basis. Breaking into smaller parts, and those smaller parts add up to a much greater sum. Am I
That's right.
pulling this out correctly? Is that?
You're hitting the nail on the head. So with I don't think there's anything called a bad habit or good habit. It's a habit that gets you a result that you do want or that you don't want. And so if right now you're not getting the results that you want, it's probably because of a habit that's giving you that result. And the nice thing about habits is, think about when you don't brush your teeth in the morning and how weird and off you feel because you didn't do the habit. You can make with literally any habit you want in your world, whether that's time with your, like, focus, enjoyable time with your son or with your spouse or in your business or in your life. You can make any habit feel that way where, oh, I didn't do it, now I feel off. And this is a beautiful place to go to, because now I'm not looking for motivation or external willpower or factors or self-discipline and trying to will up enough emotion to get the thing done. It's completely flipped. Now it's, if I don't do the thing, I feel like I'm missing something.
Absolutely. Is there an exercise that you'd recommend dads try doing tonight to get moving again, to start accomplishing their goals? Is there one thing they could start with?
Yeah, absolutely. Do you mind if I run you through a quick exercise with you personally to see if I can give you something?
Yeah, let's do it. It sounds great.
Absolutely. Okay. First question is, what would you say has been your biggest struggle with building momentum lately?
I think my biggest struggle lately with building momentum is lack of time. I've got a lot going on business wise and personally, lots of different moving parts. So I feel like, yeah, I want to accomplish even more, but how do I balance all the things that are going on around me that maybe are out of my control?
Perfect. So when it comes to that time and that balance and things like that, is there any one thing that you've really been stuck on lately?
That's a great question. I think what I've been stuck on lately is I think personally, I'm doing a better job of taking care of myself, but I think I could be doing more in my relationships, with my family, with my friends, of being more present. That I guess at the end of the day, I got to get my work done. I've got to do the basic necessities of life, of cooking, cleaning up, whatever needs to get done. But I think at the end of the day, I maybe put my relationships on the back burner a little bit more than I should or want to. So if there's one thing, it's probably just showing up and providing time to the most important relationships in my life.
Perfect. Okay. Next question. What is the least amount of time you could enjoyably spend every single day to work on those relationships without burning out?
I could probably give 20, 30 minutes, no problem, every day, trying to rebuild, or not rebuild, but continue to support these relationships more than I'm doing now. I think I could make that time, even if I broke it up into 2 or 3 10-minute shifts of maybe 10 minutes here to work on one relationship, 10 minutes there just to check in with somebody else and carry that conversation, make them feel supported. I think 20 to 30 minutes a day, but maybe broken down into smaller chunks.
Awesome. Awesome. Is it possible for you either to put either a reminder in a reminder app or in a calendar and a notes or write on a piece of paper that you commit to 10 minutes a day of that focused time, like every single day on building a relationship?
Yeah. You make it sound so simple now because all I got to do is just add a reminder on my phone and have it ping me every night of just, hey, reach out to somebody or just check in with one of these 5 relationships. I don't see that makes it so manageable. How could I not do that? Right. 10 minutes is just a small portion of the day. If there's 24 hours in a day and 60 minutes in an hour, like what's 10 minutes? It's a small fraction of time. So why not for something so important is maintaining relationships? Yeah, I could totally do that and will do that.
Perfect. Could you commit to writing down in a reminder or calendar, say one check in a day?
Yeah, absolutely. In fact, I
And
can
just
do
break
that
it
right
down.
now.
Perfect.
One check in a day.
Yeah, absolutely. So when it comes to myself, I have a whole list. It's not a to-do list. It's not a wish list. It's a must-do list. These are things I've done every single day in and day out for almost 3 years. And one of those things is, like you said, a daily check-in with my wife. One of the first things on my to-do list is every single morning I ask her, hey, are you still interested in talking? Just to try and build that connection and that gap. And that's just one of my first to-do lists on my day. Because when I consider high performance is having the whole picture. There's so many successful people out there have millions in the bank account and they're broke either with a relationship with their spouse or with their kids. I consider a high performer someone who has balanced all of them. They're successful not only in the bank account, but also with their relationships, with their health and their wellness, with their fitness, with everything that's important in life. And so in order for that to happen, we need to make it sure that we can do things very simple, very consistently every single day in every area of our life that really matters most.
Absolutely. So if there's a dad listening right now, feels stuck, unsure where to start, what's the first win that you challenge them to go after? Like what's an easy win or just an approachable win for them? Just to get them started, get them motivated of, yeah, you know what? I can give this a try at least once and it can lead to more success to get them rolling.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a little bit of what I walked you through that? When you lit up and say, you know what, that seems so easy. How can I not do that? That's something that's so important. And so something I can definitely commit to, because once we hone in on those things, it's easier to stack the wins. And if I find the thing that, oh, that's so easy and that's so important, and then you can start building that momentum and that consistency, you can start looking, okay, what else is important? How else can I make that easy? And how can I start building a whole enjoyable life around this consistency and this momentum? And so if there's any dad here listening, I have what I call a breakout planner that asks the same questions that I asked you. Basically, what's your biggest struggle with momentum? Anything you've been stuck on? What's the least amount of time, easy, enjoyable that you can do every single day without burning out? And so if you want to download that one-page breakout planner, just go to effortlessgrowth.co and you can walk yourself through that exercise yourself.
Awesome. And we'll make sure to link to that in the show notes as well so that people can access that easily. All right. Let's have some fun now. We're already having fun, but let's take this another direction here. Let's do our speed round. 5 quick questions. They're not normal. I admit that. But let's have some fun with it.
Perfect.
Are you ready for the speed round?
I'm ready.
All right, here we go. What's the first kids show theme song that comes to mind?
Paw Patrol.
Paw Patrol. Okay, yes. So you can see what stage of life you're in right now. For sure. What was your very first job?
First job was a newspaper boy.
Oh, wow. Excellent. How old were you?
I think 15, maybe 14, 15.
Excellent. All right. Would you rather spend 24 hours with a toddler-sized T-Rex or a T-Rex-sized toddler?
Probably a toddler-sized T-Rex.
Excellent. Okay. What's your go-to karaoke song?
Oh,
It's going to be a good one.
Fergalicious by Fergie.
All right, cool. You could have given me 100 guesses. I don't think I would have gotten there. But great choice. And all right, last question of the speed round. What's the weirdest thing you've ever carried around in your bag, briefcase, or pockets?
Oh, weirdest thing I've ever carried around my bag, briefcase, or pockets. Oh, man. I don't know, probably some leftover food or toy or something weird for my son, probably.
Yeah.
It just had to go in the pocket.
Absolutely.
Probably some half-eaten thing in my pocket.
You always forget about that leftover snack that they didn't finish. Ends up in the bag way later. All right. That was fun. I appreciate you indulging us in these 5 questions of the speed round. You've also given us a ton of great ideas today about how dads can better achieve our goals. I really like how you laid out the questions to think through what you can implement right away. This is not something that requires weeks of preparation to get started. It doesn't require spending thousands of dollars on a course to get rolling. Like, you can start this right away, like today. Like, I'm adding this reminder to my list, to my phone. It's going to be going off at 7:00, and it's going to remind me to check in with somebody important to me. And every day, like, it's that simple. So I really appreciate you sharing that and bring this mindset of breaking things down to something you can do consistently that will have an outsized impact on your life and on those that you surround yourself with. So how can listeners connect with you? I know we've made a deep connection here of just everything you can bring to the table, but if listeners want to learn more or want to work with you, how can they connect with you after the show?
Yeah, absolutely. Best place to start is grab that free one-page breakout planner. Go to effortlessgrowth.co. Put your email address. I'll email it to you. After that, I'll invite you to join me live on Facebook every single day at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, where I help entrepreneurs with their clarity, flow, and leverage.
Excellent. I appreciate that. Jesse, thanks again so much for joining me and for sharing your insights today. I really appreciate the perspective you brought to this conversation. If you enjoyed this episode, make sure to subscribe to and check out the Gap to Gig newsletter at gap2gig.com. It's where I share weekly stories, tools, and inspiration to help dads relaunch and redesign their careers. That's it for this episode. Remember, your career is just one part of your story, and it's never too late to write the next chapter.